My name is George Hruza. I was born in 1928, December 12th, and I was born on a farm. Had only one language at that time. I spoke nothing but Czechoslovakian until I was the age of 9. And then we lost our farm, and we had to move to Northfield. And when I moved to Northfield, I failed the first 2 grades because unable to talk English. Great. And it was very difficult for me. Can you imagine me being a Czechoslovakian and had to go to a French school? That's made it more difficult for me. As I was growing, we were very poor. Those were what you call the Hoover days, was depression. Late 30s, we were shipping scrap iron to Japan so they could have steel and work from that to build arsenal of planes and ships and so on and so forth. Needless to say, we didn't know that Japan was going to do what they did to us, invade Pearl Harbor. President Roosevelt declared war on Japan as they killed so many of our people in Pearl Harbor. Many of our ships went down. And that's what started the Second World War. Second World War was a very bloody mess. We lost so many planes against the Japanese because they had the arsenal. Who knew when we were giving all the scrap metal to the Japs that they'd throw back at us? He said, we should go home. Go back to Joe. We won that midway battle. Japanese were definitely defeated. But then the admiral changed his mind. He says, I'm gonna get that 5th carrier, no matter what. And they did. And we had conquered the Japanese fleet. We defeated them. And after that, then you had your Germany. Soldiers went in Germany, which I had an uncle over there in Germany. And he lost his life there. Of course, you heard about the D-Day. That's when he went in Normandy, go after the Germans. We lost a lot of soldiers. But we finally got on into France, and we started conquering France, and Hitler was on his way out. The Gala was the name of the plane that dropped the bomb on Hiroshima, and really wiped them out. They dropped 2 bombs, and that ended the war in Japan. So Truman was the one that gave the okay to bomb those 2 islands. I was 17 years of age when the war was over. I saved this from a friend of mine that gave this article, newspaper, to me just for a heck of it, I guess. And I've had it ever since. It published in Hawaii, and December 7th, 1941. This is when the war started against Japan. And then Korea came about. A few months later, we were trained, fully trained at Camp Rucker, Alabama. We had to learn everything. And my best thing that I ever accomplished, I think, when I became an Army instructor, I worked out of battalion headquarters. I had a Major Alvinus, which was a battalion commander. I was sitting at the desk at the headquarters there. He says, "Sergeant Hruza." I said, "Yes, sir." I said, "You owe me a quart of whiskey." I said, "What do I owe you a quart of whiskey for?" "I just saved you from going to Korea." They had 3 communication chiefs, and I was in the second. And he took a coin, and he won for me. He says, that's why I owed him 2 quarts of whiskey. I saved me from going to Korea. So therefore, I never had to go to Korea. My brother, John, he had to go to Korea, and he had to go in that reservoir, in that battalion. The whole battalion was wiped out except for 9 guys. He was one of the 9. So there were 3 of us in at the same time. Joe went to Japan, John went to Korea, I stayed back. Not because I was a coward, because I wanted to flip of the coin. I'll never forget that.